All religions have failed prophecies, every single one. The big one in Christianity is obviously that multiple passages show that they expected the second coming during the lifetime of the disciples. There are only two things that unite all Christians: the belief that Jesus is coming in their lifetime and that they were wrong. In Judaism, Rabbi Akiva around 130-135 CE declares that someone is the Messiah, not Jesus, someone else, and that he was going to finally free Israel from Rome. And then after the revolt failed and Rome crushed Judea, the prophecy was reinterpreted and abandoned, as they always are. There are many failed prophecies in Islam, specifically about the end of the world. There are several hadith where the day of judgment is imminent. We have Muhammad whispering to a young boy that this boy may not grow very old before the hour comes, and then that boy died and the hour doesn't come, and then it gets reinterpreted in hindsight. Many early Muslims truly believed that the world would end within 100 years of the Hijrah based on certain hadith, but that date passed and then interpretation shifted over time. Throughout history, we also have many in Islam who declare themselves as the Mahdi, which is kind of like a messianic restorer of justice, and then that never really works out either. Traditions in Hinduism have predicted that the current dark period that we're in will end with the arrival of Kalki, who's the final avatar of Vishnu, and there's been various claims of people being that person or that that person is coming, and none of that has ever materialized. In some sects of Buddhism, there's been a prophesied future Buddha that's going to come, especially during times of upheaval, and then that date just keeps getting pushed further and further back. Tibetan Buddhists from time to time will come out with specific dates where they're going to, conquer in this great battle against darkness, and then these dates have repeatedly passed without event. Astrology is the same way. You can fit any pattern in hindsight. So astrology 100% works in hindsight. If you say there's a 10-year period of this or this is going to happen, and then you look in hindsight, you can always find a way to make that pattern fit. But it's really bad at doing the future. So for example, most astrologers here on TikTok, even the professional ones, said that Kamala was going to win the election. And when Ronald Reagan was president, his astrologer, which a lot of people don't know about her, at least conservatives in my state don't know how much Reagan changed his schedule based on his astrologer. He would change meetings. There would be like red days or yellow days or green days based on his astrological chart. But then when he was shot, the astrologer was like, yeah, I wasn't looking at his chart, but if you were to look at his chart, it was absolutely clear that that was going to happen. And it was like, okay. Basically, be aware in any spiritual or religious tradition that all of them have like predictions and prophecies or ways to try to predict the future. And we do this because the world is uncertain and it's scary, and chaos is not great for our anxiety and for our nervous system. But if you are a part of any spiritual or religious tradition, you'll see that these prophecies only work in hindsight. There's only a way to make it work when you look and can manipulate it from the point of view of it now being the past. Religion and spirituality are very bad at actually predicting something to happen in the future. The only thing that has ever done that is science, where we can say, I think there's going to be an eclipse at this time on this day, and it actually happens. That's been the only time where we really actually have had predictions predictably come true. And if you say, not my religion, because actually that scripture means this, and this word in the Greek means that, and so da-da-da-da-da-da-da, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You are making that scripture, that prophecy, fit your narrative by adjusting it, when the people at the time didn't believe that prophecy the way that you're trying to spin that prophecy now. Probably the worst religion that does this is the Jehovah's Witnesses, which, every decade or so they say, okay, this is the end, this is the day, and then that day comes and goes, and then we weren't righteous enough for Jesus to come. They're the absolute worst at this, honestly. But the best failed prophecy of all time has to be the Millerite Great Disappointment. This happened in 1843, and thousands of people truly believed, based on kind of the math of the Bible, that this was it. And so many were disappointed that they actually termed it back then the Great Disappointment. Hundreds of people sold their property, quit their jobs, and wore white robes so that they were ready when Jesus came, and Jesus didn't. So be careful with prophecies. Some of these prophecies are going to hit. Some of these prophecies are just always true, like wars and rumors of wars are just always true about humans. And then some of them are just aggressively renegotiated. And that's pretty much true across the board.